be looking for God. See, it's going to take people dying in massive droves at one time.
Yep.
Hundreds of thousands of people gone. A whole building just gets swallowed into the earth.
Yeah. I don't say the Bible's got that all documented.
Yeah.
Man. I don't say every time you hear about wars and just when the Lord said the angels 70,000, 125,000 people just through.
This just in, Tel Aviv has been decimated by missile fire.
Yeah.
Tonight in Tel Aviv, images that change everything in an escalation that has already spiraled so fast. Israel's missile defense systems lighting up the sky as they try to intercept incoming Hamas rockets. 130 of them were fired from Gaza in one barrage. Flights at the international airport were urgently suspended and diverted. Hamas said it was a specific target. And on the streets, injured Israelis, which, for Israel, will move this conflict onto a different level.
125,000 people just through.
This just in, Tel Aviv has been decimated by missile fire.
Yeah.
You serious?
No, I'm just saying, you know. See that? That's what's gonna happen, right?
That's how Sunday's gonna be. That's how Sunday's gonna be.
It's gonna come all of a sudden like that.
Yeah, the Mississippi River just turned red like blood.
Right. You know?
Has been hit. We are bringing you a closer image coming out, live images right now from Tel Aviv. Thousands of people in this city making their way to shelters, contacting their loved ones, their spouses, their children, their community members to make sure that they are all getting to safety right now. Michael.
Shalom, Akim, Shalom, Kal Halal Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakah HaKodash. I want to send double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Much peace, love, and salutations to you, Akim, out there pushing the word, sincerity, and truth. This is the brother Ariala. And, you know, I just highlighted some of the street speaking that we actually had last Friday. You know, as you can see, we was out there prophesying, and one of the things that came up multiple times, and we ended up expounding on a little bit in this clip, is how we're going to see massive, you know, deaths, you know what I mean, bigger deaths, and we specifically talked about Tel Aviv here in the clip, and, you know, it's definitely a heavy moment through the spirit, but, you know, Esau wants us to be afraid of prophesying. Esau wants us to be afraid of speaking boldly like this. They want us to, you know, have doubt in our speech about how we feel about what the Most High has put it inside of us. You know, he's given us these prophecies. He's told us what's going to happen, and it's our time to stand up and declare it. And, you know, when we read these prophecies, we know it's supposed to be going down. And how much more? So speak it. It's important for us to speak it and continue to speak it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And so that's what happened here. Last Friday, you can see on the 7th, and then today, you know, we wake up here, and on the 11th, all this is going on, right? And so it's just a very powerful thing. I want to read 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. It says, "But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." And, you know, this is during the time where they're having so-called Jerusalem Day. They're celebrating the 1948ers coming in and kind of occupying that land in the state of Israel and taking over. And in the midst of their celebration and their holiday, Folly Day, missiles are raining. Missiles are raining down. Why? Because those are not the true people, and the Most High said that there's a war coming into that region. There's a major war coming into that region, and this is just the pot being stirred up of these nations: Edom, Ishmael, Ham, and all the nations that come underneath Ham. All of these nations are going to start to come together for the war of Armageddon. Moab, Ammon, all of them. Here in the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter, in the 10th verse, it says, "Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong." This is what you see coming from Hamas and the other Palestinians. The weak are saying, I am strong, and I'm tired of this. I will refuse to allow Edom to continue to come down upon us. So verse 11 is happening. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And that's just what the word Jehoshaphat means. Yahweh's decision, Yahweh Shaphat. The Most High is there to judge in the midst of the land of the state of Israel. That's what's set to come down, you know. And, you know, all these people saying one thing, this proves who are the people and who are not the people, okay? So I'm going to play some clips here, a little bit more, because it's just so juicy, and I love it. And we're going to go from there. All right?
For days, the question has hung over this simmering city. Would Monday, Jerusalem Day to Israelis, marking the start of Israel's occupation of East Jerusalem, be the day of definitive violent eruption? As the hours ticked by...
The day that they occupied that area of Jerusalem was the day of violent eruption. Now, the scriptures talk about when the Israelites come back into the land and start to rule. And it doesn't say that violent eruption is supposed to happen. It actually says the complete opposite. This is one, you can go get Isaiah the 2nd chapter, but here in Micah the 4th chapter it says, but in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of Israel shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and the people shall flow into it. And many nations shall come and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, and to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways, and he will walk in his path, and we will walk in his paths. And the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. Now that's not what's happening out of Jerusalem. The word of the Lord is not coming out of Jerusalem. In fact, they're doing things contrary to the law, statutes, and commandments. They're not following the ways of the Heavenly Father as you read in the Torah, you know. They're doing opposite. Gay parades, and they even eat swine's flesh over there, right? So judgment is being prepared. Verse 3 says, and he shall judge among many people and rebuke strong nations afar off, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. The exact opposite is happening. Actually, Joel, the 3rd chapter is happening. Well, since they've gotten into that land and ruled, war is actually brewing. And you best to believe that the so-called Jew over in the land of Israel today is ruling the world. They are ruling every major institution that you can think of, from banking to education to entertainment. Every aspect, you have the so-called Jew running the show. The 1948ers are running the show. Pretty much they have all the money backing it. They're the one who are controlling the capital, whether it be a 1948er out of Great Britain, or a 1948er out of Argentina, or a 1948er out of Russia, or a 1948er out of China, or a 1948er out of Australia, or a 1948er out of America. This certain sect of the family of Edom is ruling. And since they've come into rulership, even ruling in Jerusalem to this day, war has brewed, not peace. This is a key indicator to let us know that those are not the people. They are actually the opposite. They are the Edomites, which we have been telling you. This is why you see Joel the 3rd chapter being perpetuated instead of Micah the 4th chapter and Isaiah the 2nd chapter. The people who are supposed to occupy and control that land with power have yet to enter that land the way that the Most High said would happen. Okay? We're still waiting on that. So, more wars, rumors of wars, and things of that nature are going to go down. Play this clip.
The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says militants in the Gaza Strip will pay a very heavy price for their belligerence after another day of escalating violence between Israel and the Palestinians. An Israeli airstrike destroyed an apartment block in Gaza City after residents were warned to leave. Tonight.
Why is she standing like that?
A large number of rockets were fired from Gaza towards the Israeli city of Tel Aviv and its suburbs. At the center of the latest violence is the Al-Aqsa Mosque in East Jerusalem. The complex where it stands is a highly sensitive site, sacred for both Muslims and Jews. During Ramadan, Palestinians have complained of severe restrictions on the site imposed by Israeli police, who accused rioters of hurling rocks at them. And there were further tensions over a...
They threw rocks at them. Listen, more war is going to escalate, and this is nothing but justification for Netanyahu in the state of Israel to bring on impending doom and war in that area, which has already been put in their heart to do. Now, if anybody has been paying attention over the last 6 months, there's been increased altercations between the state of Israel and Iran and their allies. Hamas is an Iranian-backed militant group that the state of Israel has consistently, over a period of time, said is a threat to their nation. Now, with the current attacks on Tel Aviv, this will justify an all-out assault by the state of Israel. Whether the Iranian nation is going to jump in to aid their allies in Palestine, I don't know. But the thing that we know is that from the Palestinian point of view, they feel like they were responding to a bombing that happened to them, because they'll tell you about this attack in Tel Aviv, but they won't tell you about how previously, early in the day, the state of Israel was bombing every damn body. And that's what you see that has created this escalation of problems, right? If you see this right here, it says, this is from Al Jazeera English, Palestinians report 21 killed in Israeli air raids on Gaza. That is actually what happened initially, right? That's what happened initially to lead to the airstrikes from Tel Aviv. That's why it says this in Psalms 141. It says, to the chief musician and son of David, deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischiefs in their heart. Continually are they gathered together for war. They have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. Adder's poison is under their lips, Selah. Right? Keep me, O Lord, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man who have purposed to overthrow my goings. All right? So continuously this man is gathered together for war. He's always, creating different reasonings why he's justified in coming and throwing an attack. Okay? He's always saying, this is the reason why. This is the reason why. And here we go again. Another round. Let me play a little bit more of this one clip.
On how this is going to end. How exactly we want this to end. And right now, already thinking on how this is going to end. How exactly we want this to end. And if in order for the situation to improve, it has to probably go through worst phases, and we'll have to...
In order for this to go through, it has to go through probably worst phases. Yeah, it's going to get worse, champ. You're right.
Deal with that. I think right now the IDF is probably carrying another wave of attacks, escalating situation in Gaza. I assume we'll see more targeting of high-rising buildings in Gaza, and I do not rule out that if this continues, that the IDF will target senior leadership figures in Hamas, Jihad Islami, and other groups in Gaza.
You are watching live images on your screen right now. This is Tel Aviv. Breaking news, sirens sounding in just the last while, signaling that an incoming rocket or projectile is making its way from Gaza towards the city of Tel Aviv. That happening just a short while after the Islamic...
Let's go.
Which prompted the Hamas retaliation had been relentless. And for those who are not the targets, but who are so often the victims, it is terrifying. With the weight of the Israeli Air Force on top of them, there is nowhere safe to run. Locals filmed the moment.
Now, on the video that we had, we even said there's going to be times where you're going to see whole buildings being just sucked into the ground. You know, if we actually was to rewind this. Let's see if we can find it. Let me see. Watch this.
Dying in massive droves at one time.
Yep.
Hundreds of thousands of people gone. The whole building just gets swallowed into the earth.
A whole building just gets swallowed into the earth.
A 13-story building collapsed. It's not clear how many people were in it at the time. It is a residential block. The Israelis had earlier said that they were targeting militants in their homes. The number confirmed to have died through the day and the night before continues to rise. Children too. Here, a mother and her son are buried. They're from a refugee camp. Most in Gaza are refugees. And in one of the hospitals, agony and defiance. This man vows revenge for the death of his comrade, a member of Hamas's Jerusalem brigade. On the Israeli side of the...
Ishmael is going to do what he was programmed to do. Ishmael is going to do what he was programmed to do. See, it's in his DNA. It's in his DNA. Genesis chapter 16, verse 12 says, and he will be a wild man, talking about Ishmael. And his hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. Allahu Akbar all the way to the war of Armageddon. It's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. Okay. You go back to Joel, the 3rd chapter, in the 12th verse, it says, let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. And, you know, ever since those Edomites have gotten into the land, wickedness has increased, man. It's increased. That's why it says here, Zechariah 9:6, and a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. That's why we will go up to verse 5, because it talks about Ascalon in the news. It says, Ascalon shall see it. Woo! Start at 4. Behold, the Lord will cast her out, and will smite her power in the sea, and she shall be devoured with fire. Ascalon shall see it, and fear. Gaza also shall see it, and be very sorrowful. And Ekron, for her expectation, shall be ashamed, and the king shall perish from Gaza, and Ashkelon shall not be inhabited, and the bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. Bro, all of this is going down, bro. All of it. All of it.
The fence which locks Gaza off in the city of Ashkelon, the air raid sirens...
Can't make that up. Just said that, right? In the city of Ashkelon. Bro, this is what's coming to pass. Not this peace for the fake 1948 or wannabes. These prophecies are coming to pass. Right? Zechariah 9:5. Ashkelon shall see it and fear. Gaza shall see it and be sorrowful. And Ekron for her expectation shall be ashamed. And the king shall perish from Gaza. And Ashkelon shall be in heaven. Don't be surprised if Hamas gets smoked, bombed, he gets caught. That just stirs up a larger regional conflict. Then things pop off over in Yemen. Well, man, it's nothing for this stuff to really start to move. It's nothing. The Most High can set this thing off whenever he wants.
Of Ashkelon, the air raid sirens sounded through the day. In the skies, the trails of Israel's Iron Dome missile defense system. It shot down most of the Hamas rockets. The Israeli communities here are used to attacks from Gaza, but not this many in just a few hours.
Well, this is the 3rd time it's happened since we've been here. You hear the...
Man, you know who does cocaine. Woo! He just got up. Tell y'all this news report. But it don't even matter. Look, it's over. It's going down. Like, and you know, the stuff that Hamas is using right now is not, that's their beginner weaponry. What we're gonna see, Lord willing, over the course of the period of It could be quick. It could be quick. We're hoping that it's quick. But it's gonna these conflicts are gonna continue to escalate. All right, they're gonna continue to escalate and culminate into the war of Armageddon until that whole region is on fire. Okay, I could play more, but there's no need. The message been sent. This is an update. This is an Algo update. You guys, you brothers, man, I love you brothers. Y'all, if y'all have scriptures, please add them in the comment board or more news. You know, y'all, you can already see I had some highlighted. I don't know if you can see. I might edit that out, but I had more stuff all over the place. But I'm just gonna wrap it up right here, man. Call halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah Bahashim Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders who've been saying this for these years, man. Much peace, love, and salutations to you, Akiam, who are taking this thing seriously, and you're preaching and you're speaking boldly through the spirit and power of Yahweh Yahweh Shah. Keep doing mighty work, man. Hey, man, let's get it. Let's keep going, man. Shalom.